Tắt đã. Minh Tiết.
Thì đó, ok đó, mày phân tích còn kia phân tích như thế nào?
Mày bao nhiêu? 31 đúng không?
Trời ơi, mày ăn không nổi một cơm đấy.
Mẹ, mới rớt ăn nữa, chén cơm chưa xong nữa.
Cái hộp bạc này, cái hộp sữa
Ngon, bủ. Với bà quay, 31. Số 1. Xí lẻ. 20. 32. Đéo lọt luôn. Đỉ.
Hình như nó muốn rách hay sao?
Đút vô hồi nó có bầu kìa. 35. Xí lẻ. 13. 59.
The one to go late today. Okay, so we talked about some advantages. Now, again, it's not perfect. There are disadvantages. And to be honest, I think there are more disadvantages than advantages of being first movers. Despite the great attention that first mover advantages receive, well, there are also arguments for not entering the market too early. Okay. Now, in a historical study of 50 product categories, Thales and Golder found that market pioneers have high failure rate, about 47%, and that means market share of market pioneers is only 10%. So it's very small, very reduced. By contrast, early leaders average almost 3 times the market share of market pioneers. So it's better to be a late, early entrant than a first one. But then again, how can you time your entry? There's no formula. It's just watch the news, follow the market behavior, basically. Thales and Golder point out that the market may often perceive first movers to have advantages because it has misperceived who was the first mover at the beginning. Other studies found out that first movers earn greater revenues than other entrants, but they also face higher costs, causing them to earn significantly lower profits. Because remember, you're the first one, and you are still trying to polish your product, that takes more investment. It is easy for a company just come, look, copy, paste, and make it faster. The cost will be less. First movers simply bear the bulk of the research and development expenses, R&D, for their product or service technologies. And they must also often pay to develop suppliers and distribution channels plus marketing. You know what's re-engineering, right? You know what's to re-engineer? No. Re-engineer.
Re-engineer. You re-engineer the product,
Okay, yes, very good. Basically, you get a product, you break it down, you see what's inside, and you copy paste the homework. So you don't need to spend your R&D. But that's the problem of the first mover. They must do the R&D to make the product first. That's why China is very good at it, successful, because they re-engineer everything. If there is a successful product in the market, they will take it, disassemble, make it cheaper, of course. Almost the same, but lower quality. But then again, sometimes people go with the price, not with the quality. So a later entrant can often capitalize on the research and development investments of the first mover, fine-tune the product to customer needs as the market becomes more certain, avoid any mistakes made by the early entrant, and exploit incumbent inertia. Later entrants can also adopt newer and more efficient production processes, while early movers are either stuck with early technologies or must pay to rebuild their production systems. So if there is an update, critical update, it will be very difficult for an early entrant to fix it. Remember, first, when you develop a product, what's the main idea? You need to recover your investment before you make another step. Remember, money is not unlimited. And if everybody bet for the first product, they cannot invest in another new product if they haven't recovered from the first one. So, R&D expenses. Developing a new technology often entails significant research and development expenses, and the first to develop and introduce the technology typically takes the impact of this expense. By the time the firm has successfully developed a new technology, it may have to carry out not only the expense of that technology, but also the expense of exploring technological paths that did not produce commercially viable products. Means failed exercises. Remember, no one will get it the first time. They will try and try and try and try until they get it. And that's money. This firm also typically carries the cost of developing necessary production processes and complementary goods that are not available in the market. So if you're the first one, you have to make, and you have to make the market grow. You have to supply everything. Being the first to develop and introduce an unproven new technology is expensive and risky. By contrast, late entrants often do not have to invest in exploratory research. Basically, again, they just copy the homework. It's already proven, people like it, people are buying it, okay, so I make it. Once a product has been introduced to the market, well, again, competitors can often ascertain how the product was created. The later entrant can also observe the market's response to particular features of the technology and decide how to focus in development efforts. Thus, the later entrant can both save development expense and produce a product that achieves a closer fit with market preferences. Next one. Undeveloped supply and distribution channels. When a firm introduces a new to the world technology, often there is no appropriate suppliers or distributors. You know the supply chain, right? And the distribution chain. The firm will face the difficult task of developing and producing its own supplies and distribution service or assisting in the development of supplier and developer markets. Next disadvantage, immature enabling technologies and complements. When firms develop technologies, they often rely on other producers of enabling technologies. Many products require complementary goods to be useful or valuable. Computers need software. Cameras need film. Automobiles need service, gasoline, roads, etc. Without those complements, well, the product can be useless. Like I mentioned before, you can have the best phone, but if you don't have a good coverage service that provides you good signal and good internet, well, the product is useless. When new technologies are introduced to a market, important complements may not be fully developed, thus hindering adoption of the innovation. For example, vehicles powered by hydrogen fuel cells provides an excellent example of how the lack of complementary technologies and infrastructure can pose serious obstacles for early movers. You know, you have heard about the hydrogen fuel cells? No? Not really? Yes. Yes. It's more efficient. Yes, more efficient. It gives you more kilometers per charge. But the technology is still not there. It's like before. Lithium batteries. They were too heavy. So they were not useful to make electric cars. Okay? So when the technology improves, complementary goods improve, then hopefully your product can be successful. Uncertainty of customer requirements. Another disadvantage. A first mover to the market may face considerable uncertainty about what product features customers will ultimately want and how much they will be willing to pay. Remember in the first unit we talked about the demand, the offer and demand. And we have the science push and the demand push based on customer requirements. Not always very successful. And then again, the price point. So for a very new product, technological product, market research may be of little help. Customers may have little idea of the value of the technology or the role it will play in their lives. Think about maybe at the beginning when you start to use, before ChatGPT, there was, well, in the States it was Alexa. Have you heard about Alexa? From Amazon? Yes? Okay, and before Gemini was the Google Assistant. It didn't have a name, Google Assistant. And Apple, they have Cortana. You know Cortana? You don't know Cortana? Terrible. Siri? Yes, too young. Bixby? Bixby? No. Young people. Too young. Anyway, so those were the first attempts of AI support, which were very bad because obviously you have experience with ChatGPT and it's like having a conversation. And before there was no conversation. You have to tell very specific. He cannot understand. If he didn't understand the command, he cannot make anything. Okay? So, again, at the beginning, people did not know what to expect from the technology. So what do you do? As a company, what do you do if the customer cannot understand the product? Well, one way you can make it simple, but that's more money. because you need to redesign. Okay, customer education. You need to teach the customer how to use your product, okay, properly. And even today, I don't know if you know, but there are some online courses that teach you how to ask or how to use ChatGPT more efficiently. How to make the questions so ChatGPT can better answer back. So it's not just a natural language. Also, there is some algorithm behind it. So, as a consequence, first movers may find that the early product offerings must be revised as the market begins to reveal customer preferences. First movers have the opportunity to shape customer preferences by establishing the presence of product design in newly emerging markets and by investing customer education. If it's something new, I have to teach how to use it. Customer education efforts sometimes are very expensive. If a product is slow to begin to make revenues, for the firm, it may fail under the weight of R&D and marketing expenses. You cannot wait. It's a lot of money. And the more you delay the adoption, the people's interest will drop. And then it's a big failure. So, how to know? There are some factors. There are some factors that will influence the best time of entry. And these are, in the book there are 9 questions that we're going to go through. Those questions are the ones that if you are in charge of the launch of a product in your company, you should be able to make yourself and answer them. So again, in the very early market stages, technology may be underdeveloped and it's big to be customer needs unknown. In late market stages, technology may be very well understood, but competitors already have captured controlling shares of the market. How does a firm decide whether to attempt to pioneer a technology or wait while others do so? So again, there are 9 key questions. The first one, how certain are customer preferences? So, when the new to the world technology are first developed, customers may have difficulty understanding the technology and how the technology will work in their own life. Both producers and customers face big ambiguity, uncertainty about the importance of different features of the technology. As the producers and the customers together gain experience with the technology, features that initially seem compelling may turn out to be unnecessary. And features that have seemed unimportant may turn out to be crucial. Because, again, at the beginning, you don't know what you want until you try, and if it works with your lifestyle. Then they will start to make changes. The reverse scenario is demonstrated with Sony's introduction of the PlayStation 2. The game console could play CD music and DVD movies. So it was a multimedia device. You can play games, listen to CD, watch movies, DVD movies. So, in this case, usually video game consoles are sold at cost or loss in order to rapidly build an install base. Profits are then made on game royalties. Okay, so all these big brands, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, they don't make money from the game console. Usually either they sell at the point where they are sold at cost, they're not making money, or even losing money. So what's the business? The business is to sell games. But you make one game, and you sell 10 million copies, that's a lot of money. Think about movies. Movies is the same. Okay, you make one movie, it costs millions, but then if everybody watch it, I can make billions. Everybody follows? That's how games work. So I just make one console, but if I make many games, I make more money. Piracy. Again, sorry. They hack your computer. Well, maybe they do. Okay. But remember, in that case, Elder Ring is a third party, not main party. Again, remember, we're talking about the game console, okay? So we're talking about Sony, Microsoft, and Windows. So if we think about PlayStation, we think about God of War. If we think about Xbox, you think about Halo. If you think about Nintendo, you think about Mario. Okay, and those three games you cannot find anywhere else. If you want to play those games, you have to buy the console. And then third parties, like Elder Ring, Final Fantasy, Street Fighter, they will come to the platform and move more, and then grow the install base. So this point is the game console, okay? And the company that makes, not third parties. Okay, so what happened to the PlayStation 2? So, when people saw the PlayStation 2 was a very affordable combination of game console and high quality DVD player. Back in the day, DVD players were very expensive. And if you compare a DVD player with the PlayStation 2, the price of the PlayStation 2 was lower than the DVD player. Plus, I can play games. So, many consumers bought the system for the DVD capabilities first, and game capabilities second. So, many of these consumers bought very few games, causing Sony's strategy of subsidizing the console with the intention of making money on games to backfire. Everybody follows? So obviously the main idea of the PlayStation is to sell for games. But because it was a very affordable DVD, people didn't buy the game. They just used it to watch movies. That's why PlayStation 2 sold 155 million units. So, observing this, Microsoft in the Xbox disabled the DVD playback unless consumers they buy the add-on DVD play kit. So they didn't make the same mistake. Again, not all pioneers face customer uncertainty. Some innovations are developed in response to well-understood customer needs. Customer requirements may have been long known, even if the method of meeting them was not there yet. Second question. How much improvement does the innovation provide over previous solutions? So, the degree to which the technology represents an improvement over previous technologies, it increases a firm's probability of success to early entry. When a technology makes a dramatic improvement over previous generations, or different technologies that serve similar functions, it will more rapidly gain customer acceptance. if there is a big gap, technological gap. And that's what we were talking last week about phones. Now phones is the same, just a little bit better. There will be less ambiguity about the value of the technology and more early adoptions. As a consequence, customer expectations should become known sooner and adoptions should be more rapid. Number 3, does innovation require enabling technologies? And are these technologies sufficiently mature in the market? Many innovations rely on crucial enabling technologies to ensure their performance. For example, high-definition television is little value if networks are incapable of broadcasting in high definition. We talked a little bit about this last week too. Why do you need an 8K TV if VTV, right? VTV? What's the channel? VTV, right? VTV. So, VTV only gives HD, but you have an 8K TV. That's a stupid decision to make. There is little value there. Okay? So, again, if the required enabling technologies are not there is no point. Okay? Again, if you think, oh, I want to buy the biggest TV, but what happens when you see low quality? It's horrible. It's pixel. You know pixelated, right? Yeah? Like when you zoom a picture, and then you start to see the pixels. Okay, that's what happened. Because the content doesn't match the screen. And then you say, hey, but why? Why my TV is 8K? It's impossible. Sure, the TV is capable, but the content is not 8K. So, in the future, don't buy 8K. Unless in the future they have 8K content. Otherwise, you're overpaying a feature that you are not going to use. So, developer must identify which enabling technologies will affect the performance of the new innovation and assess the degree to which these technologies are mature enough to deliver the desired performance. Also, think about electric cars. If you don't have the charging stations, why are you going to buy an electric car? It's going to be very difficult. More mature enabling technologies allow early entry. Less mature enabling technologies may favor waiting for enabled technologies to be further developed. In other words, you need to understand your product in and out very well. Because if you don't know your product and you just throw it and you miss those enabling technologies, your product is going to fail. Number 4, do complementary goods influence the value of innovation? And are they sufficiently available? So, if the value of innovation depends critically on the availability and the quality of complementary goods, then the state of complementary goods determines the likelihood of successful entry. Not all innovations require complementary goods, and many more innovations can utilize existing complementary goods. Think about Netflix. What happens if you have a low internet connection? It will stop the movie, and it will start to like loading, until it gets enough, and then play back again the movie. But then eventually it will stop again. And then you have to load. So Again, how good is the service depends on the experience of your Netflix or even YouTube. I think affects too. Obviously now the speeds are much higher these days, but then again, it's not everything. If on the other hand, innovation requires the development of new complementary goods, then a pioneer must find a way to ensure their availability. Some firms have the resources and capabilities to develop both, a good and its complements, while others do not. If the firm's innovation requires complementary goods that are not available in the market, and the firm is unable to develop those complements, successful and early entries improbable. It's going to fail. Again, I mentioned, right now it's Wi-Fi 6, and they already have Wi-Fi 7. Okay? But then again, there are not enough modems, routers, cables, and USB dongles to fully adopt Wi-Fi 7 right now. So all these companies, think about Sony, Samsung, even Apple, they are not putting Wi-Fi 7 to their devices yet because it's not widely adopted yet. And obviously, they are not able to develop those components. They have to wait the suppliers to provide Wi-Fi 7 in order for them to adopt the new technology. Number 5, how high is the threat of competitive entry? If there are significant entry barriers or few potential competitors with resources and capabilities to enter the market, the firm may wait while customer requirements and the technology evolves, becomes more accessible and cheaper. Over time, one could expect customer expectations to become more certain, enabling technologies to improve, and the support for goods and services to be fully developed. If you're not going to bear, your company cannot bear the cost of lifting up the market, then you just wait. And when it's ready, then you put your product into it. However, if the technology proves to be valuable, other firms are also likely to be attracted to the market. Thus, the entry barriers are low, the market could quickly become very competitive, and entering the market that has already become highly competitive will be more difficult than entering to a new market. So that's the dilemma, what to do. If I enter too early, maybe there is not enough support. If I enter too late, there will be too much competition, making it very difficult to be successful. Margins may already have been driven down to levels that require competitors to be highly efficient, and access to distribution channels will be unlimited. If the threat of competitive is high, the firm may need to enter earlier to establish brand image, capture market share, and secure relationship with suppliers and distributors. Again, this part is very important. 6, is the industry likely to experience increasing returns to adoption? Make money. Returns, make money. In industries that have increasing returns in adoption due to strong learning curve effects or network analysis, allowing competitors to get head start in building the install base can be very highly risky. If a competitor's offering builds a significant install base, remember, we talked about the cycle of reinforcement advantages. To make it difficult for the firm to catch up, it will be always lagging behind. If there are forces encouraging the adoption of a single dominant design, competitors' technology may be selected. If protection mechanisms such as patents prevent the firm from offering compatible technology, the firm may be locked out. And that's something Apple tried to do with the lightning cable. You know the lightning cable? Yeah, the proprietary patent technology of the iPhone and the MacBooks to charge. Okay? But later, the government, especially European government, they break it and they make the iPhone to adopt the USB-C. Now, yeah, the fast charging, but they used yes. But then again, that's R&D technology and investment. And I think the fastest one, I think, is the Xiaomi. But it's dangerous because it can overload and create a short circuit. That's why Apple and Samsung, they keep with the normal supercharger, not the, I think that one is 100. I think I'm not sure. But the one that Samsung uses is 45. 45. They have it in 75, but I think they have to stop it in 45 because of the overheat. 7. Can the firm withstand early losses? Of course, there are big companies there. They can get a hit, a punch. Most companies cannot. A first mover often carries the expense and risk of developing and introducing an innovation. First mover often needs significant amounts of capital that either is available internally or can be accessed externally through banks. The first mover must be able to withstand a significant period with little sales revenue from the product. Remember, it's not just the revenue. You still need to pay your employees. You still have debt. You still need to pay the bills. You still need to buy raw material. You need to pay your suppliers. You have to keep your distribution. So you need to know your finance very well. Because again, at the beginning, you're going to have little sales. And this can go from maybe 2-3 months to 6-7-8 months. And if the company cannot keep up with the losses of the beginning, well, they will go bankrupt. Even in the case of successful new technologies, often considerable period of time has to pass between the point which the first mover introduces the new technology and when that innovation begins to be adopted by the mass market. Remember, this is where the money is, in the mass market, when everybody is buying. New innovations tend to be adopted very slow at first, while innovators and early adopters try the technology and communicate, social media, their experience to others. And that can be slow. Firms with significant resources may also be able to more easily catch up with early entrants by spending aggressively development and advertising, leveraging relationship with distributors. Late entrants may be able to rapidly be on brand image, take market share away from early movers. Think about brand sponsors. Okay? For example, think about celebrities. Think about, I don't know, Messi, Ronaldo, Kobe Bryant, what's the other? Stephen Curry. I don't know, Hollywood actors, Johnny Depp, singers, Taylor Swift, and so on. So these companies will call them so they can attract you. For example, Beanfast. Maybe you heard they hire David Beckham. Do you know? Beanfast, yes. When Beanfast introduced the electric cars in Europe, they hired him to be brand representative in Europe. But I think it was a short term, just like 1 month. But you can Google it. 8. Does the firm have resources to accelerate market acceptance? So, a firm with significant capital, money, not only has the capability to resist the slow market take-up, but can invest such resources into accelerating the market take-up. The firm can invest against market education, supplier and distributor development, and development of complementary goods and services. Think about Samsung. Apple outsourced everything for the iPhone, but Samsung did it in-house. Think about it. Who makes screen? Samsung made the screen. Samsung made the chip. Samsung made the hard drive. Samsung made the camera. Samsung made the battery too. The only thing they didn't make was the system. They took it from Android. But it's not pure Android. Okay? It's, in the case is what? I forgot. UE, I think. One UI. That's the system of the Samsung. It's Android, but they customize it to one UI. They try to copy iOS, okay? But then again, they have the money to invest in this aggressively. So, each of these strategies can accelerate the early adoption of innovation, giving the firm much greater choice over entering early. And the firm's capital resources can give some influence on the shape of the adoption curve. This can influence the S-curve for the company. And the last factor is the firm's reputation. Likely to reduce the uncertainty of customers, suppliers, and distributors. In addition to the capital resources, a firm's reputation and credibility can also influence its optimal timing of entry. Firm's reputation can send a strong signal about its probability of success with a new technology. Customers may use the firm's reputation as a signal of innovation quality. Those face less ambiguity about adopting innovation. So, think if Sony makes a new technology, and people, the first thing they see is Sony. Okay, it's good, it's a good brand, I trust the brand, I will buy it. As if, I don't know, let's say, what, any name? I'm bad with names. Let's say, Bird brand. Do you know Bird? No. So you would not trust. Okay, that's what it means. So the firm's reputation is a signal of innovation quality. If Vert throws something to the market, people will be, hey, who's that? Who's this? It's good, it's bad? I don't know. No idea. And if Sony throws something, oh, okay, Sony, okay, it should be something good. That's the firm reputation. A firm with a well-respected reputation for successful technological leadership is also more likely to attract suppliers and distributors. For example, which cell phone store doesn't want to sell iPhones? Everybody wants to sell iPhones. But if you put a new brand, they'll say, no, I don't know, no, I don't like that. Okay, in the last part, strategies to improve timing options. So, as should be by now clear, managing the private entry of the market is a very complex matter. It's not an easy task. If the technology has a clear advantage to customers, entering the market early can give the entrant a dependent advantage that is nearly impossible for competitors to overcome. You will become the leader. If, on the other hand, the firm enters the market very early and the advantages of the technologies are not clear to consumers, there is a strong possibility that the market will not be interested in it. They will skip it. Also, watchful competitors may be able to use the firm's failure to their advantage. They will learn, they will fix and refine the technology as introduced, making any corrections to improve the market acceptance. So it's not just the company failure. The competition will also learn from your mistake and take advantage. The later entrant may be able to enter at lower cost because he can capitalize on the R&D of the early firm and use the knowledge of the market gained from observing the early entrant's experience. Okay? I mean, even if you are not the first, you can do this. You can wait, watch, and learn. If the firm intends to refine an early entrant technology and beat the early entrant with a new version of this technology, they must have a 5-cycle development process. Okay? Because if you have a good product, but you are slow making it, then that advantage is nothing. So you're not going to be able to sell. If the demand, again, if the demand is high, you have to have a fast cycle development process. So you can match the demand. Follow? Again. So, if the firm intends to refine early technology, make it better, improve that technology, the first one, and beat the first one with a new version, so I watch, I learn, and I make it better, I need to make it better to sell more. Because if I'm slow, the first one can make it faster than me and beat me in my game. Again, if a firm has a very fast cycle development process, the firm not only has a better chance at being an early entrant, but it can also use experience gained through the customer reactions with technology and quickly introduce an update, refined version of its technology that achieves closer fit with the requirements. And now it's very easy to update either the hardware or the software. Okay? I guess, I don't know, well, depends how old your phone is. But usually the new phones, you will get a big update every month. Once a month or twice. Depends. So basically, a firm with a very fast development deployment process should be able to take advantage of both first and second mover advantages. Also, the development plan can be greatly shortened by using strategic alliances, cross-functional new product development teams, and parallel development processes. But this is another chapter in the book. Okay? We're going to talk about these three: strategic alliances, cross-functional development, and parallel development processes. But that's another chapter. Questions? I told you this was shorter. This one, time and event, is shorter. So again, he is talking about who's getting to get first in the market and how well you are prepared, the customer is prepared, and the market is prepared. And again, this is not set on stone. From product to product, market to market, economy, country, everything is different. Probably you know, for example, think about Uber in Vietnam. You know Uber? You know it was here in Vietnam? You know it was the first? And what happened? It fell. It was early, it was the first. And then came Grab. And Grab learned from Uber mistake. And what was one of the biggest mistakes of Uber? It did not understand the market. For example, here, you know, if you catch a taxi, you're going to be late. It's faster by motorbike. And Uber's main focus was taxi, car, not motorbike. And that's where Grab wins. Because they understand, no, people are not willing to pay. They're not willing to stay in traffic and get late. On the other hand, they are very familiarized with motorbikes, right? They don't care. Maybe for foreigners it's scary to go in a motorbike. Okay, someone else riding. But the local market is not that. It's not a foreign market. So the way Uber saw the market was wrong. And Grab learned and took the market. Okay, so no questions. We have 40 minutes, about 40 minutes. So summary. Okay? If you need more paper, I have more paper. No problem.
Gỡ rồi, gỡ rồi.
Guys, do you know now? Okay, this one is hey, do you know this? Woman condom. You know? Do you have? No. Are you sure? Really, students buy this for good luck in their studies? It will not work in my class. Don't put your trust. Put the trust in the book. Harry, John. It's like Halloween. Huh? Whoa. I hate this old chair. Because in the end of the semester, it seems. That's why you like to read the news. So they start to buy these dolls here. Don't believe me.
người à, người
Linh số mấy nhà quen mẹ rồi. Ủa con nhỏ này.
Should be finishing by now. If you have two papers, please put your number in both. Be sure you put the number in both papers. Before you go, I need to ask you, do you have all the classes together? Or do you have different classes? Some. Do you have like a free day? Or is your schedule full? Full? have a free day. Which one? But which is your day? Was your vote? And what was the wrong number? What was the one?
Chưa? Hỏi. Số mấy đứa đi đó. Mẹ mày.
Okay, guys, I need to know your free day. Wednesday, today. Picked up. Tuesday. Thursday. Which day? Wednesday. What time? Morning or afternoon? Yes. Everybody free Wednesday morning? No. Okay, which is your free day? Friday. Everybody free Friday? No one? Any other day? Saturday. Why? You have class? Work. About?
Chia nhau đi nè.
Biết tờ của tao.
Nghe. Ủa? Ê, cái cung này quá rồi. Cái này quá rồi. Không biết. Ai cũng phải đúng không? Đúng. Ngân nè. Ngân năm suy. Của mày đâu?
Tao biết được.
16.
Tao 13 mà.
Mày làm mà ông già này.
Ừ.
Quay
Coi cho tao chip coi.
7.
Thấy ghê quá mình anh ơi.
Rồi hết bên luôn.
Ừ. Rồi lên thu âm hả mày?
Chó.